Hi, I'm Debbie, and welcome to my channel, Divine Destiny with Debbie. Today we're reading for May 1st through the 15th, 16th, 17th for my Aquariuses. Hello, my Aquariuses. How are you? I hope you're doing just wonderful. Okay, longer reading. I use 3 decks of cards. I use my Doreen Virtue Angel Tarot cards, gives the main message. Then I go on to my John Holland Psychic Tarot and Oracle cards. That kind of fills in some of those gaps. And then I ask for any last pieces of advice from my Osha Zen Tarot cards. So I have prayed, meditated, and infused each deck with Reiki energy. And this is a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you. Take what you like, leave the rest. Okay? So let's see what we have going on. Okay. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Click on the little bell below for upcoming videos. But now we have May 4th, we have our new moon in Taurus, Taurus season, Taurus new moon. Very, very good for you, my Aquariuses, because there is, you are an air sign, so you've got lots of these thoughts going through your head. But you also are the water bearer, and now even, that's fluidity, that's emotion. So you can become very emotional, but yet at the same time, your thoughts will tell you not to show it, okay? So this grounding period is good for you. It is very, very good for you. Now, what I'm always talking about too is, okay, so the full moon to the new moon, waning, yes, waning, I always get those, but this is when you release things. This is when you give things up. The new moon to the full moon, waxing, that's when you ask for things. That's when you request things. And of course, the full moon is when I tell you to release, relinquish, and request. So I do think that this will actually be pretty, good energy for you. Now, let's go ahead. 2 cards have popped out. Let's go and cut for that third. We do have a full moon coming up on the 18th. Be aware of that, okay? Be aware of that full moon because it is in Scorpio. Scorpio has very deep energy, okay? Very passionate energy. It does not like to deal with any baloney. It just so it's very much, and it's also relationship energy, and it's very purifying. It's going to really, this time it's going to really want to purify relationships. Could also want to purify you, so just be aware of that. Okay, 3 cards down. This card is reversed, so reverse cards to me means that this means, hey, watch me. Okay, I have a special meaning. Oh, okay, the 9 of Fire. 9 of Fire, of course, is our Leo, Aries, and our Sagittarius energy. Fire, very, very consuming energy, very passionate, very, all the energies are very, very strong, but this is very much, this can just wipe you out in a moment's time, or it can smolder. Now, this is the one, 9 of Fire. I love this woman. I love her. I call this the dragon tamer or the dragon slayer. So this is what's going to, so this energy for you is that you're going to be going very boldly into these 2 weeks, or you need to go boldly into these 2 weeks, or you need to basically be protecting what you've done in these next 2 weeks, okay? Because there's, for her to be a dragon tamer or slayer, there has to be some sort of there has to be something that she is going against, okay? Now, I always look at her, though, as somebody that has already conquered it, though. So when I talk to you about being this, it is also saying to you that if you do face these trials and tribulations, it's something that you will get to the other side and you will be the conqueror of this. So this is telling you, don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. That is something my Aquarians have a little bit of a hard time doing. We've talked about that in the shorter readings. This is the time that you need to pull up that inner dragon tamer, and you need to just say, I can do it. I can do it. Regardless of what it is, I can do it. Okay, next card, and this is again reversed. This is face up though. This one is the 7 of Fire. Again, you have that fire energy, okay? Very strong, passionate. Again, defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. Okay. So what does this mean now? To me, I mean, we're getting the same messages. We're getting the same messages. So these first 2 weeks could be some weeks that you might be facing some confrontations. You might be facing some irritations. You might be facing just people that, just situations that you just go, I don't like this. The thing that you need to remember is that you actually got it. You got it. You aren't doing anything wrong. Now, okay, and I will say this to anybody, and if you are, it's not malicious. It's not like you intentionally did something that was to create a hit situation. No, maybe you didn't have the information or whatever, but what these two cards are definitely saying to you is stand up for yourself. This is a time that you need to stand up for yourself. Now, another thing that's coming up to me too, that's coming in, is that it's not so much that you might have to stand up for yourself, but maybe you need to actually, again, and we've talked about this. This is something we just talked about, I think. You need to have confidence in yourself. You need to go forth and say, this is who I am. I am more, I know what I'm doing, okay? You need to believe that. This is something that you need to believe. You need to believe that you do know what you're doing and that you are deserving. Who is that coming from? Now, I know that my Aquarians get that a lot too, that you don't necessarily think you deserve some of the stuff. Yeah, that's conditioning. You got to undo that conditioning. We've been talking about undoing that conditioning because you have had that horrible, crud. But this is now undoing that conditioning and for you to realize that you do deserve some good things. It's like it's changing that mindset in your mind. It's, saying correction. I don't know if I told you about that, but I think she's okay. But a very good, somebody that I read for, she's an energy healer, and she said that when you're seeing things not going, in the way it's supposed to, or when you're in a situation and people around you are being negative, think correction and start thinking correction. And because of that, it does do some brain changes. It kind of like rewires, and it does that correction. Okay. I have actually seen it work. I've used it myself. So really do that. Work on, something's happening. They're talking over you. They're working over you. They're just doing something. They're walking over you. Start thinking correction. Instead of you withdrawing, instead of you, getting smaller, stand up stronger. You are the dragon, the dragon tamer. Stand up, taller, and start thinking correction. Okay? So now let's see what this last card says. This last card, I love this. We have balance. We have archangel energy. We have Archangel Zadkiel saying balance. You are, like I said, you're the water bearer. So you're carrying your water. So you do need to make sure that you stay balanced, because otherwise you can lose water one way. You can, it tips, right? So here's Archangel energy basically saying the same thing that I was just talking about. You need to make sure that you keep that emotional, that mental, that spiritual balance. Now, remember too, I'm very big into the spiritual. I'm big into connecting with your higher power, divine, spirit guide, guardian angels, whoever it is for you. I'm very big in you connecting with that greater supernatural power, because it is there for you to use. Okay. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise, wait for perfect timing. Okay, again, I want you to know that you are deserving. You are a dragon tamer. You stand up for yourself. Let people see you. Okay? Remember, we've talked about vibrations. Basically sometimes vibrate, and we've talked about this, I'm sorry, but in case you're new. So sometimes, you might say something and 10 seconds later somebody else says the same thing. You're in a meeting or whatever, and they're like, oh, that's a great idea. And you're like, I just said that verbatim, One of the things is, for one thing, you're, being the air sign, you're kind of sending that out to that person. But the other is your vibrations could be so high that it's almost like you're invisible, okay? You're in a higher vibration. Everyone loves to think we need to be in this higher vibration, and yes, it is very good for our spiritual needs. Yes, we do need to do it, but we live on an earth. We live on a planet. We live with other people who are not as spiritual. Sometimes we have to turn it. So I look at it as a thermostat, and I go to the old-fashioned one, the one I grew up with, where it was a dial, and I think that's over there is high vibration, and that is low vibration. So meaning that is reaching to my spiritual, and that is keeping me grounded. So, so instead of going to my, my which one was I at? Okay, but instead of going to high vibrations, I bring it down to lower vibrations, okay? And I visualize it that way, and I also say, lower my vibrations. Bring me down to the ground, okay? So that I can be seen. Okay, so anyway, that's just a little bit more of an explanation on that. I know we just talked about that, but here we go. Now, let's go on to John Holland. Okay, can you give me a little more clarification for this? Give me some clarification. Okay, let's go ahead and cut. And see, 3 cards down. Yeah, that Archangel Zedkiel is really, that balance is, oh my gosh, this is, the purples in his cloak, I mean, the colors around him, it's really, quite beautiful. It's quite beautiful. Okay, first card. Okay, here we go. Reverse cards, and this one is partnerships and alliances. So basically, you don't have to do these things by yourself. You do need to figure out who is on, who's on your side, who can you team up with, who's got your back, So when you're trying to be seen, there are a lot of people. Actually, I feel that there are a lot of people that do recognize what you bring, but they've been just kind of waiting for you to actually come up, and actually claim it. Okay, so be aware that there are people that do have your back on this. Now, next card. Again, so here it is. Yes, this is something you definitely do, something that you hold back on, that you basically retreat on. You start thinking about this a lot. Your thoughts work against you a lot of times. And actually, I'm feeling like you almost punish yourself. I mean, you literally punish yourself with this. It could be that, you get emotional comfort from overeating or over drinking, or using some sort of a, substance. Or it could be that you're like, okay, I'm gonna be so perfect. I'm going to be so perfect, and I'm going to run, and you know what I'm saying? So that you exercise to the point of exhaustion. And the thing is, it's like, you again, remember, there's people that have your back. You don't have to be alone, okay? You don't have to be alone on this. Now, your last card on this one, so these cards, firm foundation. So here we have this. We have this on Archangel Zedkiel. We have about balance. We have the need. You have actually created a better foundation than what you have thought you've created. You have actually put things into a better place than you have thought you've done. You have, you have actually done that, but you just don't believe it. Again, this is a lot of this is for my Aquariuses that we're working on that mind thought, that self-thought, that self thing, okay? This is the time for you to develop this further, okay? This is the time for you to show people that you are a player in the game of life, okay? Okay. And the thing is, though, this is the time that you can actually do it. I mean, you can do it. You can do it anytime. Maybe you're listening to this now and it's not quite kicking in, or saying, maybe it's not, your circumstances are like, I can't do this right now. and then later on that something's like, okay, now's my time. Now's my time. That's cool. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I just want you to know that you do have that. You have that ability. Okay, so let's go on to Osha Zen Tarot. Any final words for my Aquariuses? Okay, we're going to cut. Please use the energies of that, you know, the new moon. And, you know, I'm not necessarily, again, I don't tell you to go worship the new moon. I'm like, I go out there and say, hey, anyone hear me? Okay? You don't have to make this big ceremony. You can just talk. Okay, first card, these are all face down. The Fool. The Fool. The universe is telling you have faith and be, you know, just have faith. You know, have that connection. Start your journey. This is going to be a wild and crazy journey for you. I really feel that this is going to be, this energy with this Taurus season grounding you more. This is the time for you to take your step off the cliff. And, you know, and if you notice, there's that, you know, there's that new moon. If I kind of point out to it, where is it? Okay, over there. There's that new moon. There's that new moon, and this is the time. So that May 4th could be something really, really big for you. But it's the time for you to just have faith. Take that leap of faith. Okay. Now, do you want to do it? Remember, I'm always talking to you about that door. So that's okay. If it's not this time, something else will come along. Okay, next card is, sorrow. Okay. Be aware. Just be aware of that. That's on top of our suffering and silence. This is where, you know, this is kind of this thing of falling into self-pity. Be aware that you can, you know, that you can keep yourself isolated from people, that you can, you know, like I said, you can just wallow in self-pity. That is something that human beings do that. Be aware to not fall into that. You need to make sure that you just keep that high, you know, that when, you know, that thing with the vibration. So this would be the time when you find yourself in here, that you turn those vibrations higher. You turn them up. Okay? So, my last card for you. Celebration. I love these crazy ladies. These are crazy ladies. They're out there. They're just out there, no shoes. They're just dancing in the rain. They're dancing in the puddles. They're dancing in the wind. They're just letting it all hang out. They're just saying that life is good and I'm just going to enjoy myself, and I'm doing this with others around me. I'm doing this with sisterhood. You know, I'm creating my foundation. I'm creating the people I need to be with. I'm not by myself. I'm not by myself. I have a right to be here. I have people around me. I am the dragon tamer. I have angel energy. I have things I can put into balance. I am not letting that darker side unhinge my brighter side. Okay? I am not doing that. I have faith I am taking leaps of faith. I have faith, and I am going to enjoy my life for a change. Darn it all, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so my Aquariuses, as always, please know that you are loved and be blessed. Bye-bye.